Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we turn to talking about the H3H3 Keemstar drama in a bit of a flashback YouTube kind of retro episode here on the website. You see, this is like a 2016 flashback because H3H3 Productions and Keemstar, or Drama Alert here on YouTube, those channels were pretty prevalent back then. They're still really big and huge too, but the fact that they're beefing right now and having this big drama with each other really makes you think back to those good old days. Those good old classic days of YouTube when people could still make fun of each other, curse, and say kinds of outrageous stuff about each other and have a good laugh while they're doing it. Yeah, nowadays, YouTube is much more PC and much more locked down and not as the golden days like we used to have with the commentary channels. In addition to that, a lot has changed with these YouTubers as well. For example, H3H3 hardly even posts on his main channel anymore. This was the first time he's posted in about a month, and previously throughout the year he's not posted nearly as much as he used to. He has a new podcast. Ethan Klein is the runner of H3, and they have a new podcast that they focus on more, and in addition they post on their podcast highlight channel, and that is a development under their system. And with Drama Alert, I would say that channel's still going. Keemstar still cranking out videos, but it has changed there a little bit too. He's kind of had new additions to his plans. He has a new podcast. He has like a Friday gaming stream that he does too. So he's kind of spread his wings as well. Both of these channels have changed over the years, and now they're coming back together in this new beef. You've probably heard a little bit about it already, but to sum things up, H3H3 recently made a video about Keemstar. This was a sort of exposed video that, again, harps back to the old 2016 style, and in the video there's a lot of controversial things that happened within it. You see, H3H3 came after Keemstar pretty hardcore, and sure, Keem has done some bad things in his time, as has Ethan, as have all of us here on YouTube, but the way that H3 came after Drama Alert was very troubling to a lot of us. First of all, he tried to blame another YouTuber's death on Keemstar. Yeah, he tried to say, hey, Keemstar caused this thing to happen, which is a very bad implication, super petty, super terrible to say, and very manipulative too. This is kind of like banking on someone else, bringing up this drama controversy that is still a sore spot for a lot of us out there who watch this former YouTuber. Then, in addition, after that, H3H3 seemed to go after Keemstar's sponsors. This is where things get really low. This is like a real low blow. If you guys haven't heard, going after people's money and their sponsors and their stuff that they use to pay their bills here on YouTube, that is a big no-no. What you're really supposed to do is focus on the creator, focus on what they say, what they promote, how they act, and what's the content of their videos. Going after sponsors is just a low blow, even though, admittedly, both of these YouTubers in question, they're already millionaires, they're already doing extremely well, but you really can't bank on that. I think you could, if I got into H3H3's head, I'm pretty sure he was thinking, yeah, Keemstar's a millionaire, who cares, let's take down his sponsors. But I think regardless of that, the guy still has bills to pay, the guy still is working a job, he still has content that people want to sponsor, so going after them is certainly a low blow. And this happened in the form of H3H3 mentioning G Fuel. G Fuel is a sponsor, a longtime sponsor for Drama Alert. They in fact have been sponsoring him for years. Most people on YouTube have heard of this product only because of Keemstar, and sure, they've spread out and sponsored other people recently, but Keem was the big first one. He's sponsored them forever, and they've even made a flavor after him. I think it's Cotton Candy Keem is the flavor. He got his own flavor, kind of like Michael Jordan would get his own flavor of Gatorade or something. This is like the YouTube equivalent of that sponsorship. But regardless, G Fuel has appeared to completely drop Keemstar. Now you can't use his code Keem to get yourself a discount on the website. All the pages that had Keemstar's flavor and page and name on it, they're all off of the G Fuel website. So there has been a mission accomplished on the H3H3 side. He made heavy implications going after the sponsors in a very petty way, in a very low blow. And that's why he's getting a lot of backlash right now. He's trying to deny it and fiddle around and try to get away with this, but going after G Fuel and taking that away from Keemstar is definitely going to have repercussions, not just for H3 either. I mean, this is setting a really bad precedent. Going after sponsors now means that someone else is going to go after a sponsor later. They're going to think this is fair game. I mean, H3 is a big channel. A lot of other younger YouTubers look up to him. Also, they've been known to be in with YouTube. They kind of have in with that, and they represent that. So to see this happen is setting a precedent, and it actually has already happened recently. This was actually before H3 did this in another situation, but there is something else worth mentioning here. You see, this story kind of spreads out and cascades and goes off into lots of different places. So stay with me as we talk about another instance where a big prominent creator went after someone's sponsors. Now we're talking about Pokimane. This is a prominent Twitch streamer who also has a YouTube channel, you know, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, social media star. And she went after someone who made a bad video about her. She went after a YouTuber called It's a Gundam. Great channel, by the way. I've seen a lot of his videos. He does awesome work. And typically he does a lot of cool videos where he kind of tears down these girl streamers and girl YouTubers and other people that are kind of being entitled and acting terrible online. And in this case, Gundam made a video about Pokimane. She seemed to be a little triggered by it, so she brought it up on one of her live streams in front of thousands of fans and kind of tried to combat him. She did a terrible job, by the way. This is not her forte. She's just a girl streamer who does her makeup and gets pretty to go on camera and talk about nonsense. So her responding to a video, kind of making a counter response, was already a terrible idea. And basically what it came down to was she just ended up attacking his sponsor. She's like, hey, look who sponsored this video that he made making fun of me. I can't believe they'd sponsor him. And then ipso facto, she's implying he doesn't deserve sponsors because he makes fun of her. So it went bad too. And after that video came out and after people tried to stick up for Gundam, as it turned out, Gundam made a follow-up video saying yes, he in fact did lose another sponsor. Now I don't know if it was the same sponsor that was in that video or he lost another one, but either way, this Pokimane attack came after him and it had bad repercussions. And in this case, it's actually much more sinister because Gundam is just a smaller channel, like up and coming, not necessarily a big rich guy like H3 and Keemstar, which we just talked about previously. So this set a little bit of a groundwork for what H3 did. Pokimane did this a few days ago, about a week ago, and now H3 is coming after Keemstar sponsors, and now we've got this whole thing going on where YouTubers and streamers are coming after each other's money. And basically I think what could possibly happen is a few months from now, none of us are going to have sponsors. None of us are going to be able to get them anymore because this person's going to go after this person's going to go after that, and it's just going to become a really, really bad thing where no one's going to be able to make money. A lot of YouTubers are going to suffer. Things are going to change, and it's just not a good look. And this goes to show how bad this is spreading and how this whole meme is taking a very bad turn. And here's another source to show you some more proof that this is going on. This is from the H3 subreddit. So this is actually a picture tweeted by Colossal from their subreddit. It's another fan of H3, and it says, it worked with G Fuel, so it'll probably work with Spotify. Everyone spam them. So it's a tweet, and then the tweet says, it says, Keemstar has a contract with Spotify for a show, Mom's Basement Podcast. If G Fuel will drop Keemstar, so should Spotify. Let's get this trending in the mentions of Spotify. So terrible. Again, they're doubling down. They're not happy with the first sponsor. They want to take more things away from Keemstar. For what, though? For what? I honestly don't get what is so terribly bad that Keemstar did that he deserves to not be able to make money and produce on the internet. I don't know. Did he commit a crime? Like, should we call the cops? Do we need to get him arrested or fined or some kind of... I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see the crime here. I know there's a lot of bad things he might have said, and I know a lot of people disagree with him. Like, don't get me wrong. This isn't a full-fledged Keemstar defense, but just because you disagree with the guy and he has different ideas and politics and whatever from you, that doesn't mean this is okay. And now that it's happening, now that H3 implied it in his video and he lost G Fuel, now his fans are rabid and they're like, hey, we won. They've got a taste of this kind of power, and now they're going after Spotify. And this is just a really, really bad precedent, a really bad situation to be in. I mean, I would never want this to be on any of my enemies. I've talked bad about tons of other YouTubers. I've reviewed them. I've rebutted their ideas, their premises. That's all I do. I just compare their videos and respond. And I don't talk about their personal lives and how they're making money. I'm not trying to shut anyone down. I'm just saying, hey, you're wrong. That's all you need to do here. That's all H3 should have done. That's all his fans should do. But now we see it taking to another step. And the other thing worth mentioning here is the fact that this whole Spotify thing, you see, Keemstar moved his podcast to Spotify and got an exclusive deal with them, and he's not the only one to do that. Here's another related story. Apparently now Joe Rogan's podcast is moving to Spotify as well, and this is actually an even different situation because he's a much bigger podcast. He's an institution, and he's actually going to be exclusive on Spotify in the future. That means Joe Rogan is not going to have his podcast on YouTube potentially in the future. So this is another channel that's moving to Spotify and kind of taking their content away from YouTube. Whether that's good or bad, that's up to you. I'm kind of bummed about the Joe Rogan one, but it is good to see there's more competition getting made out there. So if someone else is going to compete with YouTube, that might make them change things and make things a little better over here. But that's besides the point. I'm not trying to get too kind of sidetracked, but the point is Spotify has these podcasts now, and one of them was Keemstar and his show called Mom's Basement, and now the H3 people are coming after that, and that's what's caused the sponsors to rethink what's going on, and the sponsors are getting alerted to this stuff, and you can't really blame them fully. I mean, you can. It does suck if a sponsor drops someone in this situation, but they're just looking for positive reinforcement. They don't want any kind of negativity associated with their products. So when a sponsor sees any kind of drama, it's harder for them to kind of stand their ground and say, hey, we're going to stand behind someone, we're going to stand behind this or that. It's not really in their nature in this kind of advertising business. The more to blame is the people flagging them, the people attacking, and people going after the likes of Keemstar, going after people like Gundam and other kinds of YouTubers, brass YouTubers, maybe a little too crass and a little too controversial at times. They're speaking their minds, and I think I identify with that a lot because I've had similar situations. Fortunately, I haven't been kind of deplatformed or totally taken down yet, but people have certainly tried. You know, people have tried to flag and take down videos and go after things and say, oh, this is too much, this is too bad, YouTube has the strike system. That stuff happens to me all the time. So to see people going after other YouTubers just because you disagree with them, it's a really bad thing. And like I said before about Keemstar, if he has committed a crime, if he's really done something wrong, if anyone has, bring it up with the authorities. Like, this isn't a real thing. Like, you guys aren't supposed to be here to police YouTube and police people's sponsors and how they make money. Like, just disagree with them in their videos, say they're wrong, say you have a better point or a better stance, and that's it. You don't need to go the next step. You don't need to involve sponsors. You don't need to involve family. Family's another thing you're supposed to leave out. I think sponsors has a relatively similar ground. You know, you just don't go after people's outside things. Focus on the content, focus on the ideas and what you actually disagree with. Don't waste your time being these petty little naysayers who just make everything way, way worse. That about wraps things up. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you got some information and some enjoyment out of it. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. What do you think about H3 versus Keemstar? What do you think about Pokimane versus Gundam? People moving to Spotify, Joe Rogan leaving the YouTube website. Lots to talk about today, so comment your thoughts on everything below. Let me know what you think. Give me some thoughts in there. I'll be answering and responding. Also, make sure you leave a like to help support this channel. And until next time, you guys have a great day.